You are watching the video version of the Marketing Should Be Fun podcast. We are so glad that you are here. If you prefer to listen to podcasts, you can find the Marketing Should Be Fun show on any of your favorite podcast platforms, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else. But most of all, we're so glad you're here, and I hope that you enjoy today's conversation. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Marketing Should Be Fun. My name's Austin Savage. I'm the founder of Savage Content Collective, and I am so glad that you are here. Kelsey's kids are out of school this week. I guess they have like a second winter break. Must be a Texas thing. But it is recording week, and wanted to go ahead and get an episode your way about something that I am personally very excited about. But beyond that, something that has just a lot that I think any organization in any industry can take away. Specifically today, I want to talk about my favorite video game right now that came out at the end of 2023. But beyond that, I want to talk about how the studio behind this game has used customer support as content opportunities to increase brand loyalty. Now, if I said video game and you're like, I don't think that I really care about this, I totally understand. I promise I am not going to talk too much about this video game, though I could. But I do want to give you a little context into what it is. But again, my goal here today is to take something that I am passionate about. I think that is very, very fun, and bridge the gap into something that they have done really, really well to make this one of the best-selling games in recent history, and one of the most award-winning games in recent years as well. So the game in reference is called Baldur's Gate 3. I am a huge fan of this game. Literally just this morning, looked at how long I have played this. Over the past 2 years, I have put 300 hours into this game. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of hours. So if you've listened to the podcast for a while, or if you follow me on social media, you have seen me or heard me talk a lot about Dungeons and Dragons. It's a game that I love. It's a tabletop role-playing game and is really, really fun. But this game, Baldur's Gate 3, is actually inspired by and is using kind of a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons system. So it's basically like a Dungeons and Dragons video game, but it is massive. This game has 17,000 possible endings that you can experience. As you are going through it, I mean, it takes over 100 hours to finish a run of this game from start to finish. But your decisions throughout the entire game, people that you choose to interact with, how you respond to certain situations, things you say or don't say as your character, literally can lead to 17,000 possible endings. I have experienced 2 of those 17,000 possible endings. But just a massive game. It has won multiple Game of the Year awards. It's won, tons of awards for things like voice acting, for the visuals of it, the scope of the game. Just so many different things. And interestingly, what I want to kind of zero in on in this episode, 2 years in a row, 2023 and 2024, won the Game Award for Best Community Support. The studio that makes this game is actually a Belgian-based studio. So they're called Larian Studios. They are kind of best known for this series, Baldur's Gate, but then also another series called Divinity, which is not one that I have played. But they're a Belgian-based studio. They were founded in 1996, the year that I was born. And specifically today, they focus on making these role-playing video games. So they're games that you take on the persona of a fictional character in a fictional world. Not all of those games are as big in scope as Baldur's Gate 3, because in that game you can literally be anyone that you want to be, or any type of character that you want to be. But they have been around for a long time, really building their place as a studio, but also just building an audience and people who respect their approach to games as a whole. So there's 2 things that I want to highlight about what has really made the community around this game so rich, so meaningful, even when it's silly. And there are kind of 2 things. One, the way that they have brought their own passion and fun into their marketing has made their marketing so much more effective in really just engaging the people who care about this game. And then on the other side, they have taken customer support and customer satisfaction incredibly seriously. They are often responding to feedback that they have gotten, acknowledging feedback that they have gotten, and turning it into something funny as a result. And so I want to kind of break down both of those things and how it applies to you as a leader, as a marketer or a content creator, whatever your role is in that. So the first thing is on that passion side. You can tell throughout every single social post that Larian Studios makes that they like their work, that they enjoy this game, and that they think that it is fun to hear, people's feedback and to, work on new solutions to acknowledge that feedback all the time in their marketing and specifically in their copywriting, which this is like copy is so powerful when you take it from just like, we did this to like connecting about a funny thing that, people have been experiencing in a game that was not supposed to happen. And they turn that into just like a funny opportunity for copy that really engages people and doesn't just give them information, but brings them into the narrative, the brand, the story, the excitement. I mean, all of those things. So regularly in their content on social media and in other updates, they are including jokes that their core audience will care about, that they will respond to, and that they will, find enjoyable. They are acknowledging updates about the new game versions that come out, which is, they're just like kind of the apps on your phone. There's always kind of new versions that are being released to fix bugs and things like that. And specifically, they are acknowledging feedback that they have received. Many people have specifically in a lot of Reddit feeds and things like that. I regularly see people just note how rare it is for a game studio to actually listen to people so closely and make the changes and acknowledge the changes that people are requesting to make the game even better. I want to circle back to that in just a second, but I mean, that is so insightful for every single industry. It doesn't even matter what it is, but that directly connects to marketing content. Okay, coming back to that in just a second. But the last thing is they are having fun with their marketing. We say this all the time. I mean, we called our show Marketing Should Be Fun for a reason. You can tell that they are enjoying the process. They'll regularly share videos that give behind the scenes, and you can see just the thought and the care that they gave into so many different technical aspects of this game. And even though it's above the heads of most of the audience, for this game, I don't understand how to develop a game. Literally have no idea exactly how it works. I just enjoy the experience of enjoying the creation. But you can tell, and they are not afraid to share even the technical side of their craft. Because it brings their passion through to the forefront, helps people better understand the process and the people behind this studio and this game, and just bridges a gap of excitement overall about the craft and the story and how it all kind of comes together. They are having fun with their content and connecting that passion of theirs with the passion of their audience. And in that space is how connection is formed. Not only connection to the studio, but just connection to the product. People feel more loyal to Larian Studios as a brand, but also just to this game, Baldur's Gate 3, because they have seen, what went into it, because they feel like they are part of a community. So before we jump into that customer support side, the big takeaway there is that you can have fun with your marketing too. You have people who understand your craft, who care about your people, who are curious about your processes and how things work within your organization. And it is a huge opportunity. It doesn't matter if you are in a serious field, like you're a law firm, or you are, doing insurance. I mean, maybe there's heavy compliance in your field. There is still opportunity to share things that are human, that are fun, that are interesting, that are not fully just external from the inner life of your organization or your company. But on that same side, if you are doing nonprofit work, if you are launching a startup, there's so much opportunity to move your marketing just from buy our product, did you know this about our product, and those kinds of things into the journey, the excitement, the passion, the interesting facts that most people wouldn't know, or interesting kind of aspects of the process that you go through to launch a new product, to make a product, those kind of things. Those are huge opportunities to use something that you care about and make it into something that other people can care about with you, really forming this community around your brand. Okay, like I mentioned, this game studio has won multiple awards for their customer support. And what I want to highlight here is that so often in companies, we always talk about how sales and marketing are often siloed. And, especially in recent years, a lot of leaders in the marketing space, I guess, have really talked about how important it is for marketing and sales to work together, for those teams to, communicate and partner together, and for marketing to not just be like, well, I'm getting you leads, I'm getting you leads, I'm getting you leads, and sales to be like, frustrated with the leads that are coming in, or, whatever it is, that there can be partnership. But the same thing is true for customer support and marketing. Oftentimes in the copywriting space, looking at past interviews with customers and, customer satisfaction results and feedback is a big part of copywriting. But I think even more than that, there's a huge opportunity to just consistently be bridging the gap between customer feedback and marketing opportunities. And just like I've kind of highlighted that is a huge win for this game, that has really also solidified the community around it. People trust this brand because this brand has listened to them. People recommend this game and this brand because there's such a strong community around it, and because this studio listens to the people who are purchasing and enjoying the product. And what we consistently see is that customer feedback, that customer experience, which is something that their support team is experiencing, even if it's a small team. It is a separate kind of process. It is their customer feedback. We consistently see that feedback acknowledged, engaged with, utilized on the marketing side. We see those things show up in their marketing messaging. We see those things show up on updates and the like. They are bridging the gap very, very well between support and marketing. And the same opportunity is true for you. As you are thinking of how you want to better serve your customers or your donors, or as you are thinking through how you want to better serve your customers or your donors using feedback that you have received, look for opportunities to acknowledge that and use that feedback in your own messaging. To really bring in this narrative and this story of we are listening to you. Even with something like donations, when you have donors, right? Like we often think of we want to put on this front that we are perfect, right? Sometimes, of course, that professionalism, that leadership, of course, needs to come through. But there's such a human and a meaningful aspect of building a brand, of being honest and open and having fun with the things that you are fixing or updating or changing about the experience alongside your brand. Take inspiration from this idea. How can you bridge the gap between the customer feedback that you are getting and the team that you have on that side, however big or small, and the opportunities that you are using to acknowledge and engage people in the story that your brand is telling? There is such a huge overlap and opportunity between support and marketing. All of this comes back to find its footing in one place, and that place is trust. When we are building a brand, when we are creating content, what we are trying to do is build trust. I know you hear that from us all the time, but hear it fresh today because it matters deeply. When we want to build a content marketing strategy that actually engages people in the work that we're doing, actually engages them in our brand, and create content that actually helps us build a community around our brand. Both of the things that I have kind of taken inspiration from Larian Studios and from this video game are very applicable in doing those two things in your brand. We talk all the time, right, about adding value, about building trust, and about creating community. And all of those things kind of build on each other. And all of those things are still very, very true in the content that you are creating. But today, I want to really just highlight those two opportunities. Whatever industry you're in, whatever your product is, no matter how large or small your brand or your business or your organization is, you can take inspiration in how you are marketing, creating content from these ideas today. You have permission to have fun with your marketing. You care about your organization. You care about your business, or at least I hope that you do. And that gives you so much opportunity to bring that passion, to bring that care into the content that you're creating. Even if it's something that might be over the heads of people that you are marketing to, even if that is something that only a small portion of your audience might find, particularly interesting, you can have fun and you can let your personality show through your content. And if you are, a larger team, you can let your team's personalities show through your content. That is how connection takes place. When people feel like they know you, understand you, that they can like you because they actually understand, who you are and what your personality is. That is how connection takes place, especially through digital content. That could be through video. That could be through your words. Let your personality show through. Have fun with your content. On the other side, bridge the gap between your customer feedback, satisfaction, and experience and your support teams with your marketing. Not only should these things be leading towards the same place all the time because you are tweaking your product, improving your experience based on support, which is what you are then marketing, but make sure that those teams are communicating, that they are not fully siloed, that you are able to understand the phrases and the frustrations and the things that people love and are frustrated by about your product or your experience. That gives you so much opportunity to speak on your customer's level about what they are looking for from your product and experience, but also just what they have experienced in using your product. And that goes beyond testimonials, right? That goes beyond just like, here's what everybody loves about us, but also goes into acknowledging your mistakes or, having fun with processes that were clunkier than they needed to be and celebrating that something is, different than it had been. There is so much opportunity and kind of interesting paths that connecting customer support to marketing can take. But from this episode, and again, whether you care about gaming or not, take inspiration from Larian Studios. I mean, they have seen a community built around their brand that has helped them win, again, multiple Game of the Year awards, that has helped them win multiple Best Customer Support awards, and has solidified a passionate kind of customer base around their product. And they have done that by prioritizing customer support and using the feedback that they get in their marketing as much as possible. Brand loyalty and trust are huge opportunities with a content marketing strategy. Creating consistent content is a great way to bridge the gap between your organization and each member of your audience and bridge it by creating trust. All right. Well, that is all that I have for you today. If you ever want to talk more in depth about Baldur's Gate 3, you let me know because I would love to talk to you about it. But above all, I hope that there was something interesting or that you were able to take away from today's episode. As always, we believe in you. You have such incredible gifts to share with the world. And your voice matters in building your brand and in shaping the world. Don't be afraid to use it to share your passions and to make a difference. I will see you right back here on the next episode of Marketing Should Be Fun.